Welcome back to continue our discussion talking about special foods on special occasions. Joining me again, Lauren Bradley, health educator and dietitian with Tulsa Health Department. Let's jump in. Now, I asked about turkey, and you mentioned the lighter meat is going to be less calories than the darker meat, but also the skin we need to be aware of, because many times people do like the skin, whether it's on white or dark meat, eliminating that as well. Tell me a little bit about ham, because sometimes that's another favorite of many people is ham.
Ham is going to be, it's not necessarily one of your leanest choices. Again, it's not like your steak that has all the fat dripping off of it. Ham's issue is it has a lot of salt and sodium. So those people that have high blood pressure and have to really watch their salt, that's going to be one of the saltiest meats you can have.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is. And one of the ways you can kind of help cook your ham is, you know, again, a lot of people put all the glazes and brown sugar glazes on the outside and honey cured ham. Again, taking off that little skin around the outside, not a lot. And then also kind of baking most of your meats, if you bake them as opposed to the frying. Some people I know fry their turkeys. Baking is going to be the best way to go. Again, you're not going to get rid of all that salt. So again, if you're on a salt restricted diet, ham's not your way to go. But you can make it healthier by baking those meats or broiling them.
Okay, and there's not a way that you can, I can tell I don't cook very much, as what I'm getting ready to say, but is there a way that you can take the ham and sit it in some water for a certain length of time and suck out some of the salt? Probably not.
You would have to ask a cook on that one.
Probably not, because like you said, it's probably integral to the ham itself.
Yeah, to the taste and flavor.
And I say that because many times if people are trying to do things, they'll think of things like that.
Yeah.
That
the osmosis,
surely
it will
suck
just
the
simmer
salt out.
Yeah.
But we should stop thinking that way and realize that ham is a very salty
yes,
meat.
it just is a salty meat.
Now tell me a little bit about dinner rolls, or the different rolls, because we often, with special occasions, go with the breads.
Yeah, the breads are kind of a staple for most of us to have at our meals. A typical bread roll is probably not going to be this big, but this is kind of your 1 ounce, which is considered one portion.
Okay.
And so this one has 74 calories. So most of our rolls, though, are probably going to be double this size. And again, this is a whole wheat roll and has no butter on it. So when we start adding our butter and everything else, that's when we again have to watch the calories, because these are the butter is going to be your empty calories. That's not going to provide anything good for you. So again, just definitely watch your serving sizes. Have 1 roll. Don't have the 5 rolls before dinner even starts, and then have 1 with your meal.
Right.
And try to choose the wheat over the white.
Because it's
got that fiber that we talked
about. The fiber,
about.
the healthier bread for you.
Definitely.
Okay. What about dressings, stuffings? You know, we have some example of stuffing here.
Yeah.
Do we need to actually read the boxes of stuffings, or can we just consider, well, it's bread, it's not a lot of it until it all gets together.
Yeah.
But how should we look at stuffings and what we add to them?
There are tons and tons of kinds of stuffings, and I know a lot of people make them homemade at home. When you're making them homemade at home, some healthier ways to make it are going to be use the wheat bread instead of the white bread. That's an easy substitution you can make. Trying to use your if you do use broth in it, use like the low sodium broths.
Okay.
Some people choose to put like the gizzards and other things that I think are disgusting parts of the turkey. Some people love them.
That makes it traditional.
That makes it
Lauren.
traditional. Those are going to be not as healthy because they have a lot of the fat and cholesterol in them.
Okay.
So leaving those out to the side.
Okay.
And throwing in some of your own. Like this year, my mom threw in cranberries and almonds and apple slices into our stuffing. So a way to get some extra fruits and vegetables in there may not be as traditional, but again, a healthier way to make your stuffing.
Now you mentioned almonds, because many times you see a lot of that at special occasions, almonds, peanuts, cashews, and people are just nibbling and nibbling and nibbling. Are those healthy choices, or should we limit those even? Are there some inherent things about, you know, almonds and cashews and peanuts we need to know?
Gotcha. Well, nuts are a great source of the healthy fats. You know, we have our bad fats and we have our healthy fats that are going to work for us. Nuts are a great source, but you have to watch your portion size again. Because those people that keep munching and munching and munching, like I said with the pecans, taking off 5 is 100 calories. Well, nuts are kind of high in calories because they are made from, they do have a lot of those fats. So 1/4 of a cup is actually kind of a portion of most nuts. So that's not a lot.
No, that isn't. And so that would be in the whole affair that you're participating in. Let's see, I think we're putting it this way. The whole, hold it that way for us. That whole affair that we're participating in, That's all we should have,
That's
because
a
we
portion.
tend to just go and have a whole lot more than that as we're munching and talking.
Yeah, but almonds, if you are going to choose between almonds on like your green bean casserole and your French fried onions, then almonds would be the healthier way to go, because our French fried onions are going to be nothing but fat. So that would be a healthy substitution you can make, but again, don't go overboard on your portion size.
Okay. Well, what about gravies? Because usually gravies are a big hit with special occasions and even every day. But what should we do about gravies?
If you're going to make like the homemade typical gravy, a lot of people will just take the juices from their turkey and just throw them right into the gravy. Well, then we're getting a lot of that fat. What you can do, because fat will harden, if you take the turkey juices, put them in the fridge for a little bit, then skim off the fat, because it will go to the top, then use the juices underneath. Is a way to do that. Or if you take ice cubes and put them in, the fat will stick to the ice cubes, and then you can pull, again, once it sits in the fridge for a little bit, you can pull the ice cubes out and the fat will stick to it.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of fun. So that's one way we can watch it. And then again, just watch if you're putting in a lot of cornstarch and flour and all the other stuff in it. Again, just watch the fats.
Now, when we think about let me add this in our last few minutes here. We did talk about the meats again.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that just for a moment. How much meat should we eat?
Oh, portion.
I mean, portion sizes, as we talked about. The the dessert, the number 6, in terms of looking at that half a cup and those types of things. But how much meat, because we are overall a meat-eating society.
Yeah, it's typically 3 ounces is going to be what's considered a serving size of meat. And I brought with me this little example, and it has a deck of cards on it, or a card, because our meat portion is about the size of a deck of cards, would be 3 ounces. Which is our 1 serving. Okay. So that's a good way to look at it. If you have fish, the fish obviously you're not going to eat the head and everything else. So again, this size, chicken this size, your beans are going to be half a cup. But most meat, again, if you think of a full deck of cards, that's about the size. Or it's the palm of your hand is another good way. But again, a man's hand is going to be bigger than mine. So deck of cards is a good way to go.
Deck of cards. And then just really quickly, pasta. Because sometimes you'll go with all kind of pasta dishes.
Yes.
Show us the size of pasta here before we wrap it up.
Pasta,
that's amazing.
Half a cup. It's like a mouse. This is supposed to be like a mouse that you would use at your computer desk.
Computer mouse.
This is a half a cup.
That's what we should visually think of.
That's what we should visually think of. I don't know how many people eat this size, but that's what we should visually think of.
It's a goal, Lauren. It is always a goal. And so we'll leave our viewers here with these goals that we're working towards, our mouse and all of that good stuff.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's our show. For Health Alert, I'm Pam Butler. I'd love to hear comments, suggestions, or questions. And please write me at Health Alert USA, P.O. Box 50913, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74150. Or if you're on the email trail, please email me at healthalertusa@gmail.com. And also visit me on YouTube at youtube.com/healthalertusa. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And remember, establish those goals, stick to them. Remember the mouse, the deck of cards, and take care and enjoy. This program would not be possible without the support of OU Physicians in Tulsa.